So I've tried to make this video quite a few times, but every time I do, the conference is cancelled. Attending your first conference as a student or ECR can be really quite daunting. So how do you get the most out of this process? I'm on my way to the first meeting. I'm attending in person in 2 years, and you really have to think what you want to get out of this meeting before you go. But I think it's more productive to think about what you can do for others rather than what you're trying to do for yourself, what you contribute for your supervisor, for your conference organizers, as well as the peers in your group. When you focus on what you can do for others, it's surprising how much you get out of the process for yourself. Being ready is the first step. For this meeting, my talk isn't until tomorrow morning, but I'm getting there a day early just in case anything goes wrong. And if anything goes wrong, the organizers have my contact details and I have theirs. So good thing I came a day early because my flight today was delayed 2-3 hours, and so I'm here a day before, and what I'm going to do is go scope out the venue in a second, but really my talk, my slides, my speech has all been prepared. You've also practiced your talk as well, enough so that you can be confident without being too scripted on the day. Being prepared for an in-person conference is quite different from being prepared for an online conference, where it's all about the tech, all about your slides, your audio and video setup, as well as your internet connection. And having a good backup device with its own separate internet connectivity is really good, because if there's a power outage, you still need a backup plan. I made quite a few videos on those topics of presenting at online conferences and troubleshooting tech on the channel before. You can see those links down below. Now, I could have left this up to chance, but I'm here early and I'm scoping out the venue. This is the UniSA Adelaide City West campus. So I'm here the day before, really checking out the site that I'm giving my talk, so that on the day, on the morning of, I'm not late and I know exactly where to go. So you're at the venue and you're at the conference and you're stressing about giving the talk. But the ironic thing is that the talk is actually the least important part of this whole process. It's not about what you talk about, it's about who you meet and who you can connect with. And the strategic approach is to go into your talk knowing who will be at the meeting, so you can have a few people that are very senior in the field that you want to talk to and make connections with. And if your supervisor is attending these meetings with you, that's a really good way, because it's a chance for them to help you connect with people who will be your future mentors and future supervisors. Handing out business cards is certainly a play you could do, but I think that's a little bit outdated and a little bit more old-fashioned. Academics are quite allergic to the more networky vibe that's more common in corporate, but I think you can be very strategic in online networking through LinkedIn, Twitter, as well as a follow-up email talking about how you can help with that person's research or work going forward. And how you can help really is the key here, because making introductions and making networks can be quite awkward. What are you supposed to do? I think talking about what you have a shared responsibility for, the duties or skills that you can help that person connect with, is really the focus of any collaboration. What can you do to help them? And in turn, what can they do to help you? Now, don't just think you have to only collaborate and network with the most senior people in your field. Your peers, students, ECRs are actually the future of the field, so it makes sense to network with them as well. And it's more likely that you'll meet them on these conference organizing committees. And that's my next tip. These kinds of volunteer positions are very undersubscribed. We need far more volunteers than most students think, and you can almost always get a job volunteering for these conferences if you really put your mind to it. And on these conference committees, they're not just students, peers, and ECRs. Usually there's a president of the society that's attending all these meetings, working out very mundane things like the catering, the timetabling, the venue booking. So you can very quickly have direct access to the most senior people in your field if you're volunteering on these conference committees. Again, focusing on what you can do to help rather than what they can do to help you. And over time, this will build up more momentum for your career going forward. So I've given my talk, and of course, I'm back at the hotel now, and it is very tempting to just keep doing work instead of exploring the venue or the location that you travel to for this conference. As an early career academic, you might feel the pressure to never have a day off, to never find something to do in your downtime, but I can tell you that you need energy for this long marathon that you're in, that is academia. You need to find something to sustain yourself. When you're traveling for work, there's inherently going to be some downtime. Can you find your own interest? Are you just as interesting outside of your work as you are within your day job? And when I was an early career academic, I would spend every minute I had while I was traveling getting more work done to think I could get ahead. But that was a bottomless pit. I was never going to win that race. And looking back on it is actually quite sad. I didn't get to explore all of these amazing places in the world that I was traveling because of work. I found my creative outlet through photography. And in between conference meetings, I can duck outside the conference venue, take a few photos of the streets. At night, after everything's calmed down, night photography is also really nice and moody. And this has really been my salvation in terms of work-life balance. I'm able to squish this hobby in and adapt around my lifestyle, and it really helps sustain me for the long run. I've talked a big game. Hopefully everything went well in this meeting, and hopefully the talk I gave was well received by the applicants. Again, I'll post a link in the description once that talk is ready to go and it's been edited. This is the Biolab Collective. I'm Jack Wayne, and I'll see you in the next video.